Here we go.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Bronx Pinstripe Show. Did you miss us? It's been 2 weeks since we last recorded. What's up, Scott? I think that's the first week we missed in over 10 years.
During the regular season, yes, that's right.
No, we've never missed a week.
Well, this past winter we changed things, But yeah, first one in a while, and frankly, what a week to miss.
No, I wanted to record after that.
Yeah, I know you did. There was nothing that that would have happened actually in the last episode that we're not going to talk about in this episode because Cincinnati and Oakland, Cincinnati is a much improved team. Terry Francona at the helm. Ellie De La Cruz is unbelievable. He's a fun player to watch. They lost that series, beat Oakland. It should have been a much easier road when they came home for the Oakland series. But really, at the end of the day, like last week is when everything happened anyway. So with Toronto and then going into Queens to see the Mets. But yeah, man, couple 6-game losing streaks. Just stack them. That's what this team does.
Yeah, a pair of 6-game losing streaks. Not something you ordinarily see out of a quote good baseball team.
No, it's not. It's not something you normally see, and there's not one. The thing about this team too is when you're trying to call them a good baseball team or trying to call them a championship level team, as you would hear it from Boone or the front office, and they're reeling and they're around the corner or whatever he's been saying on the press conferences after games. It builds character. I saw that quote where it may sound corny, but these are where you build character. This is how you get the team together. There's 1 week it's the offense, 1 week it's the pitching, the other week it's the offense, then it's the pitching, it's the bullpen, then it's the starting rotation, then it's everybody but Judge. Judge wins player of the week, I think last week, or he just got another accolade of doing everything basically himself. But there's not one broken element of this team. I put on the thumbnail today that just put the word broken, because that's exactly what this team is right now. It is absolutely broken. And that starts with the manager and goes all the way down to basically every position on the field except for Aaron Judge and maybe you throw Cody Bellinger in that situation.
Yeah. There's a lot to discuss, almost too much to discuss. So like getting into nitty-gritty game situations, probably not what we're going to do today. Maybe some stuff from the Mets series, but it's tough to go back 10 days or whatever. I agree with your statement, just like in general, broken. If you want to throw Boone's face up on the thumbnail, which I think you did, like as the face of broken, sure. It like you said, it sort of starts with the manager, and if we really want to go there, firing and replacing the manager is easier than firing, replacing all the players, which you can't really do mid-season.
But we've gone down this path, man. We've talked about this. There have been many other opportunities to do this. Especially after an abysmal June. It's not like this is the first time they've had, in the middle of the season, just an absolutely terrible month. This guy, and it goes up and down.
Almost happens every year.
Yeah. So I don't know why this year's different, coming off of a World Series in the eyes of the front office, specifically Steinbrenner, because Cashman's not making that decision. This is Cashman's guy. They're probably linked.
No. So I want to talk about it, but I don't want to go there yet because I feel that will just derail some thoughts. But when you look at like the brokenness of the team or the inconsistency, call it, it goes beyond the manager. You can point to the manager and you can also point to the players. Like you have 1 6-game losing streak. That should be enough to snap guys out of it and be like, we're not letting that happen again. But it literally happened again a week later. And I don't know where the accountability or where the fight, the balls of these players to be like, we're not going to let this happen again. We're going to find a way to win one of these games against Toronto. We're not going to go get our asses swept 4 games in Toronto and lose first place. But that's exactly what they did. And they had so many opportunities in 3 of those games to win the game, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't find a way to win the game. So you point to what's going wrong beyond the manager. bad defense, sloppy play.
Just
Guys,
really, really bad defense. Really, really, really sloppy play. That just is to me the stamp of the Boone era.
Yeah.
Honestly, is the sloppiness and the inconsistency of the defensive play and just like the baseball IQ.
Yeah. And yeah, I know Cody Bellinger made an unbelievable play yesterday, which fine. If the Yankees go on to do something this season, you could point to that play. Let's see it happen first. But they just spent the entire previous 3 weeks kicking and fumbling the ball and tripping over themselves, making outs on, like, you go back to the last losing streak. What they make an out on the same play for like 4 days in a row, like getting picked off second base. And then you've got Volpe and Jazz on the left side of the infield, just completely booting the ball or throwing it away. And like, I know Jazz is playing out of position, but then you go point to Cashman. You've got a guy playing out of position. You have a second baseman playing third base. It was fine last year. He came over midseason and he filled in a gap that the team needed. But right now, DJ LeMahieu I'm sorry, he doesn't deserve to be the everyday second baseman. If Jazz Chisholm is going to be a good defensive second baseman, he's hitting, put him back at second base, stick DJ or whoever else, Peraza, over there until you can go acquire an actual third baseman, Brian Cashman. Go and acquire an actual third baseman, not a replacement guy, not a filling guy, not a rotation. Go find a third baseman. They've gone into the season now 3 out of the last 4 years without a third baseman. And then point to any season over the past 5 years, they haven't had a left fielder. It's like you have to look in the mirror eventually, Cashman, and people need to like understand, like, yeah, the manager sucks and I hate him and I want him out of my face. But like, this roster is not well built and they're spending $300 million with guys out of position. And just like, how is that possible?
It's possible. The Yankees made it possible. They obviously the allocation of these dollars went to significant players, but yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. The fact that you're walking into a season with that situation. IKF is on the board now, where he's back right there, in the Yankees considering a reunion back at his Gold Glove spot.
That would be a wrap for me. By the way, I think that's a wrap for me.
The look, DJ, I said a few weeks ago, like, let's give DJ the month of June and see where he is physically afterwards, and see where his line is, and just after a decent amount of time. And I think what we're seeing is that DJ is healthy, but he's old and he's not the same guy, and that's unfortunate. But it's also very clearly, the writing was on the wall for exactly what we're looking at. If you're moving Chisholm at this point, and look, if you were gonna in June, I'm separating June right now from the rest of the year, because June, with DJ coming back, you're moving Jazz over to third. Maybe DJ plays well, and if they believe that he's a better second baseman than he is a third baseman, and they're putting Jazz at third, might as well do it early so he can get more work over there and see what happens. If the goal is to replace DJ with another player on the trade market at second base, if that's the case, who knows what that's the case. But at this point, we're seeing Jazz at third base clearly out of position. And again, I've said this, you've said this, nobody is faulting Jazz for this at all. Jazz is doing the best he can over there. He's got a sore shoulder. He's been out a little bit. And he's doing the best he can. But footwork wise, feel wise, you can tell that he's not a third baseman. He's got unbelievable athleticism. The glove work, when he gets to the ball, he gets there. But yes, second base is his natural position and a lot more comfortable. Put him back over there. I still don't understand why DJ can't play third. I don't quite understand that. But put him back over there, and then go get yourself an actual player who can play on the left side of the diamond and solidify at least the defense over there. Because when you're giving up runs, like the Yankees are giving up runs with the rotation, with the bullpen being abysmal, you can't have a negative defensive team behind you. You just can't do it. And I know Cody Bellinger made that unbelievable play last night. Throw the shoestring catch. It's like,
save the game, probably
5 centimeters from being a complete disaster, but instead it went the other way. And look, people are saying, oh, the season's going to be different. Shut up. You know what? You could have said that when Will Warren put up a 7 spot and then the Yankees climbed all the way back, but then they failed to win that game. So,
Right.
there's these many moments within a season. You're like, okay, glimmer of hope, avoided disaster, because you know what that did? That wasn't a catalyst for the rest of the season. It was a saving grace. Cody Bellinger made a great baseball play to save their asses from getting swept 2 consecutive series in Toronto, the team that leapfrogged you in the division after having a 7-game lead, and then the other team on the other side of the city who stole your best player. Okay, that was a safe, a face saving play. It wasn't a season. You can't save a season when the team is still broken. You need to improve, get better players, and it usually doesn't happen just before an extended break. Oh, and by the way, Seattle and Chicago coming into town, 2 playoff teams. Seattle's pitching staff has been lights out lately. That staff against this team, problem. It's a problem. So,
but let's see what happens, right? Like, I'm not going to say it's a season saving play,
but
or not
to it the day after.
Right? No,
of
course, no.
They're ridiculous. But people actually doing that is, you guys need to please open your eyes and just understand what's happening right now.
Not just the day after, the next inning, it was the season saved. Thank you, Cody Bellinger. It was. And I know people are
looking. It was a great play. And it saved the game, no doubt about it. It saved the game because that was the start. That was going to be that probably would have tied the game, if not put a runner on third with less than 2 outs, and would have been a big problem with the bullpen, where they are currently. So yes, 100% great play, game-saving play. Thank God they did that. That Bellinger did that, and he's been really good with the bat ever since his slow start. You look at his numbers, and there's a significant case to throw Boone away in the trash and just go Dominguez, Judge, Bellinger, and then the rest of it you can figure out after that. But my God, can we get a little bit of consistency at all in the lineup so that every single day, I know I bitched about this last time 2 weeks ago, but it drives me crazy when you see a different lineup every single day. And I'm sorry, but as a leadoff guy, being plugged into that leadoff spot compared to other places is a different animal. I think the rest of it is about the same. But when you're hitting in front of or behind Aaron Judge and you're leading off the game, like there's a consistent strategy to that. There's a way that you prepare for that. You have your at bats a little different as well because you want to see more pitches. It drives me crazy. The littlest thing, man.
I know. I feel you on that. I think something like that is honestly a little bit less on Boone because
it's 100% on Boone. What are you talking about? He makes the card.
I don't think he's fully making the card. I think he's using the input from the analytics team and the data that says, okay, matchups today, matchups tomorrow, and how you're going to build the lineup, lefty, righty, all that sort of thing. Yes, obviously he's the one putting pencil on paper, but it's not just him in a dark room just writing it out by himself. He's having input from everybody. But I sort of touched on this last time where that's a product of not having just starters, good position players at every position. They've got a bunch of rotation guys. Everyone's a rotation on this team except like 3 positions.
Yeah.
Everybody is a freaking rotation. You've got 4 outfielders you're trying to rotate into 3 spots plus the DH. Like freaking Jason Dominguez finally starts to hit. He gets a couple days in there and then he's back on the bench. Yeah, I know he made some shitty plays in left field, but like he's hitting. Just play him every day, especially when there's a righty on the mound. I still think play him against lefties too because he needs at bats. But like, I'm sorry. Trent Grisham can be the 4th outfield. I'm okay with that for a while.
100%. And
but like Boone, you look at the in-game situations, the pinch hitting situations where I forget what game it was because they're all kind of blending together. But like you had a contact, I forget who was up, but they pinch hit Stanton and he just whiffed. He came off the bat cold and just whiffed. Just no shot at putting bat on ball. Whereas I forget who was up, but like you just need to put bat on ball and you maybe can move a runner or get a runner in. Or in the game on the
But that's a
4th of
philosophy. That's a philosophy thing. You know, at that point, when you put Stanton in there, you're not looking for that. You're looking for
Oh, I know
the
they're just
bomb.
it's robotic. Another robotic decision was on the 4th of July when Tim Hill was cruising, got 3 guys out in a row, and Alonso comes up and he immediately goes to Weaver, ignoring what his eyes were telling him what Tim Hill was doing, because I'm sure that the matchup was predetermined that when Alonso comes around in the game late, we're going to Weaver no matter the game situation. Weaver walked Alonso, I think it was on 4 pitches, and then gave up a 2-run bomb to McNeil. Okay. McNeil, left-handed hitter. So what you could have done is just had Tim Hill intentionally walk Alonso if you're really too afraid of him, and then had him attack the lefty. But it's just like not using his freaking brain or his eyes on what is happening in the game. And Weaver, who since he came off the IL has been terrible. He's given up 4 home runs when he only allowed 2 prior to that. And I'm like, what is going on with Weaver? He was so good. And you look at how he returned to this roster. He came back after 3 weeks, after the initial timetable was 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, I'm not like going to complain about an early return. In theory, that's a good thing. But so clearly he came back on the early side, didn't have a single pitch of rehab, just came into the roster, came into a game, I think it was against Baltimore, late and close, cold, not having thrown a major league pitch or any pitch in a game in 3+ weeks. And since then, he has not looked the same. So I'm sorry, I have to question, how was this return managed? Was it managed properly?
Well, even if it's you're looking at like how it was managed, the fact that he didn't, throw a rehab pitch at all, assuming that he's going to be the same guy before the injury right off the jump is a crazy thought. And I know that Boone is immediately putting him in pressure situations to face, some of the best hitters on the other teams. First outing that he had was a home run. Was a tie game, I think, when he came in. You can't expect him to do that. You got to work a guy in a little bit, at least for just to get the game situation, if nothing else. But yeah, even going back, to again, I need to keep talking about Boone a little bit, because I really do think that when you have it goes back to this first 6-game losing streak, and then again it happens when you have multiple 6-game losing streaks in such a short amount of time. The one thing that you should be able to depend on is consistency with, getting into a groove, like knowing where you are in a given day. Going out, you're going to man your position. You're going to do it well. You're taking ground balls, maybe extra ground balls at that position, because that's your spot. You're doing, something a little bit different in the batter's box, because that you need to get on base no matter what. You need to see more pitches. You need to do this. When you're fluctuating up and down the lineup and changing positions every single day, it's really difficult, I think, to get into a groove like that. It really is. And even yesterday, when you're looking at the game that they won, Boone is overthinking and trying to be smarter than the next guy. And you look over and you have an opener, right? You're not starting any of your lefties. An opener, right-handed pitcher. Jazz is sitting.
Well, Jazz, they said, was banged up.
Jazz is banged up in the field. But he's came out and said that it does not affect his hitting at all. Rice is on the bench. Dominguez is on the bench. You have 3 of your best lefty hitters on the bench going up against the starter, the quote opener, right? Assuming that there's a lefty coming in, because he knew that the lefty was going to come in and take the majority of the innings. First of all, reverse splits on the lefty. That's the first thing. And second of all, when you're looking at what happened, you have a righty come in, start the game, and then multiple righties come in after that, just to prolong what Boone did to start the game and not have any of the lefties in the game at all. He's overthinking it, and then he stacks righties. What he's doing doesn't make sense. It's not like there's a method, or there's some methodical way that he's doing this and changing it. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand it. And the guys that are getting the off days, and this goes back to his pretty much his entire tenure, the guys that are getting off days, coming off of good hits, good days, and he's just become a cooler. He's become a cooler in the way that he does things.
Well, it's also the attitude. Like after the first 6-game losing streak, it was it was like, well, this is just a long season, just another day at the office. We're a team to be reckoned with. We're just gonna power through it. There was no urgency. There's never any urgency with him. It's always the same sort of motto, same mentality. Every booted ball in the infield is just that's just bad. That's a fluke. That's just a fluke. Every extra inning game squandered is just up where we got unlucky there. Every time a bullpen decision is made and someone comes in and pitches to contact late in the games because they have guys who pitch to contact and try and throw off speed stuff to get swings and misses, but all it does is walk hitters and fall behind in counts. We're going to keep doing the same thing. And then it happens again. Like another 6-game streak happens. And that is where the manager, I'm sorry, you need to look at the manager and ask, how are you leading this team? What are you doing to lead this team? What are you doing to change the mentality of this team to snap, instead of going on a second 6-game losing streak, snap out of it after 2 or 3 games, win one of those games in Toronto, just so you don't leave Canada not in first place.
But there's inconsistency every day, every single day. And I don't know how you snap and bring that solid baseline to a team when you're making your own little change every single day. And then with the bullpen, scripting basically what happens before the game starts, not reading a game situation, not knowing or understanding and reading who's hot to keep them in a particular game. There's just no pulse. There's no pulse. And when that happens, when you're pulling guys out because of what nerds are telling you, or because you're trying to get a matchup and beat the next guy because you're smarter than them and you think you're smarter than them, it leads to more disruption. It just leads to more disruption.
And things are compounding because the pitching staff, like Clark Schmidt's down now. Like you've had Stroman has had to come back, and he's now solidly in the rotation because of injuries. So that puts pressure on everything, right? You're getting less distance out of your starting rotation, so the bullpen has a heavier workload. You didn't have many off days in this past couple of weeks, so everything's sort of compounding on itself. And when you put a manager in there who, I'm sorry, I don't trust any decision that he makes, it blows up.
And by the way, Ben Rice continuing to go back and play catcher. I know you heard Neil shared the Francesa rant that was the other day, and kind of feel like Francesa's back a little bit. You know, the Pope he's had some
nothing we haven't said though.
I understand that, but I don't know. It's like when he's at his best when the team sucks, for sure. He doesn't know he's like you. He doesn't know how to handle success or winning. It's like, I don't know what to do. Just waiting for the other shoe to drop and then yell at the team. But when you're seeing, even Ben Rice going back there, you have the third catcher that you're trying to rotate in. It's crazy. It's crazy. This is a guy that was in the minor leagues as a catcher for the majority of his minor league career, needs more reps at first base and just continue to put him at first base. If he's going to be your platoon over there, then do that. But getting them both in, trying to get them both in, is something. And even moving Bellinger to first base has been happening. Like
they're desperate.
Get guys in.
Well, again, this goes back to roster building. They're desperate to get guys at bats because they don't have a clear position. You've got a bunch of guys. It sounds great in theory. You have like 4 guys that can play multiple positions, but all that means is you don't have a starter at any of those positions.
That's okay if you have exactly entrenched guys with 1 to 2 guys that can be your flexible utility players. Like that's great when you're looking at having, Cabrera out there, and he could play the outfield, he could play the infield. Like that is a valuable piece because now you can get guys days off on in the outfield, in the infield. You can rotate it. You have confidence that this guy can go out there and play, a solid position wherever you put him. No, but this is a complete rotation every single day. These guys are legitimately waking up every day and checking the lineup to see if they're in the lineup.
Except who doesn't have to check?
Anthony Volpe.
Who never has to check if he's in the lineup or not?
Anthony Volpe. Yeah. And that's the other thing. Something that we're looking at. I'm looking at the comment here. Gregory Wayne is saying something, and guys are asking about who the Yankees should be looking at the trade deadline. And this is one of the biggest overlying points here. And I'm very curious to see how this works out, because if history tells us anything, we already know how this is going to work out. But Gregory Wayne says Hal will not add payroll to this roster. We've already seen Cashman dumpster diving. That's a big deal. They're up against that the threshold more, the dollars that are added to this team now are essentially double. Are they actually even going to do anything? When you're looking at how many holes there are in this, understanding that Garrett Cole's out for the season. Now we haven't even talked about Clark Schmidt going to be going under a second Tommy John. By the way, they drafted him out of University of South Carolina
right after he had surgery.
Right after he had Tommy John surgery. Okay, so they're in the first round of the draft. So this is a guy that's obviously had this before, has been through this. But is this a team that he's going to add to, knowing how many spots there are that need to be fixed? I don't know. And if history tells you, history says no, he's not going to. He's not going to add significant payroll to what we already see because of where they are.
Well,
the luxury tax.
From a business standpoint, taking my fan hat off, I understand that because he's looking at the American League. He's like, are we the best team in the American League? We could be. On any day, they could be the best team in the American League. Could they be the fifth best team in the American League? Yeah. On any day, they could also be the fifth best team in the American League. So, like, he's probably looking at it like, well, we got hot at the right time in the playoffs. We went up against a soft playoff schedule, and we got into the World Series. Like, why can't that happen again in the American League? And is he wrong? I don't know if he's wrong.
Well, I don't even think that's the point, to be honest. I think the point is that even if you were to go out and spend and try to be, even the best team, you'd have to do it in multiple spots.
Right.
And the money would just get significantly higher if you're trying to truly improve, not just try to find a guy.
Well, they're going to
hope that he's going to be better.
They're not going to literally do nothing. Like, the roster will change, but it's going to be the types of change we've seen over the past few years where it's a bullpen arm or two that you've probably never heard of, who might turn into something or might not. He might be a diamond in the rough, or he might come in like Leiter came in last year and stunk up the joint. And they'll bring in another infielder that's just another warm body in the infield. Like, I saw an article.
Candelaria got signed. He was a guy that everybody wanted 4 years ago.
I saw an article that I forget where it was, but basically pointing to the loss of Oswaldo Cabrera as why the Yankees have a problem at third base, and I'm like, what?
Well, he was their starting third baseman.
That is, the dude had like a 550 OPS. The loss of Oswaldo Cabrera, who is a nice player, and I felt terrible for him how he broke his ankle. But I'm sorry, he was not the answer at third base and never was going to be the answer at third base. You would be in the same position you are today if he didn't break his ankle.
100% true. He's a very good utility player. He's a nice player. He's a good add to the roster because he can do many things. Him being the answer at third base was never a thing. That was never a real solution at third base. They walked in, and whatever they want to tell you, they walked into the season without a third baseman, very clearly without a third baseman.
They'll tell you we walked into the season with third basemen.
I'm saying whatever they tell you, the answer is that they did not.
That's the same way when they walked into whatever season it was with Aaron Hicks as the starting left fielder. It's like, no, that's not a starting left field. That's the name you're putting on paper to start the position, but that is not a quality everyday left fielder. And they tried to do it last year with Verdugo, which, okay, at least you can give him credit for trying to acquire like a major league talent to put out there every day. It didn't work out. This year, the emergence of Trent Grisham, which won them games. Like, I'm never going to be like, oh, I wish Trent Grisham wasn't playing well. But all that has caused is Jason Dominguez to get less playing time.
I was joking about this in our group chat, but I'm also kind of serious. Like, Trent Grisham is a very good fourth outfielder, and he had a hell of a start to the season. Can't dispute that. Like, he did that. Things have changed a bit. He's definitely come back down to earth a bit. Still a very, very nice player, a very good, even though he's had some mishaps in the outfield, he's a good outfielder. He's a good fourth outfielder. But every time he gets a hit, part of me inside is like, because I know what's going to happen. I know every time Trent Grisham gets a hit, he goes up. Dominguez development goes down. Trent Grisham gets a hit, Dominguez development goes down. Yeah. Trent Grisham gets another hit, Dominguez development goes down because he's not going to play another day. And that kills me inside because what you're seeing now is a player in Dominguez that's finally getting comfortable at the plate. You're seeing good at bats. You're seeing just like the look on his face. We talked about the look on his face early on. It was a little off, and I feel like you're really seeing him settling into major leagues, to major league pitching, even getting some hits from the right side, which he needs to get more reps on, especially if you're gonna have playoff aspirations and you want a guy to be your guy, and then you're gonna play him every day.
You know who's the starting left fielder?
I know. And when you're seeing it in real time, when Grisham's getting these hits, I'm like, okay, cool, good job, Grisham. But goddamn, I want Dominguez in that leadoff spot every single day. I want him there every day. I want the lineup to read Dominguez, Judge, Bellinger every day, every single day. And then from there, you can do a lot of things, because when Bellinger is a left-handed hitter, and then after that, you could put Stanton there. You could put Goldschmidt there. And then guess what? You have another one. You have another really good left-handed hitter who's hitting really well in Jazz. You could actually have some consistency in this lineup that makes a lot of sense, because Dominguez, I'm not sure if Aaron Boone remembers this. He is a switch hitter. He came into this team. He can hit from both sides of the plate. And I know he's not as good of a hitter on the right side. But guess what? As the season goes on, you want consistency within that lineup. You want to know what your guy in front of you does. You want to know that in the leadoff spot with Aaron Judge behind you, you're going to get a lot of fastballs over the plate. And as a right-handed hitter going up against a lefty in Dominguez, a young player that's developing, I want strikes. I want that kid to get strikes. I want that kid to get fastball strikes. And in front of Aaron Judge, that's exactly what he's going to get. And the fact that we can't just do that is crazy. You don't even need to mess with the lineup. Just do it. Just run it out there every day.
That kind of brings me to my next topic of change or resistance to, or just stubbornness, which I want to get into. But first, I want to talk to you about our friends over at LinkedIn who have been sponsoring our podcast for basically the entire season. If you're a small business owner, you do not have the luxury of clocking out early because your business is on your mind 24/7, 365. And when you're hiring someone new, you need a partner that grinds just as hard as you do. That hiring partner should be LinkedIn Jobs. You post your job on LinkedIn. They also have a new feature that can help you write the job descriptions to get it in front of the right people quicker. You can either post it for free or pay to promote it, but just know that paying to promote your job gets 3 times more qualified applications. Getting those qualified candidates is the most important thing. Based on LinkedIn data, 72% of small to medium businesses using LinkedIn say it helps them find high quality candidates. You can also let your network know that you're hiring by adding the hiring frame to your profile picture, which gets it out in front of more people and more qualified candidates. Posting a job on LinkedIn is not only to get you better results, it's also super easy. We did it at Blue Wire most recently, actually, and we had applications flood in. I was amazed at how quickly it worked. Find out why more than 2.5 million small businesses use LinkedIn for hiring today. Find your next great hire on LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Bronx, linkedin.com/Bronx to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. So as you know, Scott, I spent this past week, 4th of July week, in Rhode Island with my family. What a week to be with my dad when they didn't win a single ball game and fell out of first place.
Yeah.
Couldn't have picked a better week. It was just, I had to be like, Dad, you're scaring Harrison. Chill out. But he was basically like, oh, this is it. They have to fire Boone. Like this is the nail in the coffin. They're gonna fire Boone. He's like trying to will it into existence. And I had to like talk to him like, they're not gonna do it. They could lose the next 20 games and I don't think they would do it. And he got mad at me because he thought I was like supporting Boone. I'm like, Dad, I promise you, I would be the first to throw the parade. I would be leading the parade if Boone got fired. But look at how this organization has acted over the past 8 years. They are stubborn. They are stuck in their ways. They're not going to fire Boone. They believe, for whatever reason, he is the right man for the job. They didn't fire him after they missed the postseason a couple of years ago. They were basically a 500 team, missed the postseason with a $300 million payroll, and after the year said he's the right man for the job. Okay? This is this is just a bump in the road. That's all it is. And it's similar to, you're saying, can't we just put Dominguez in the leadoff spot, get him some reps up there? He's got the speed to be a leadoff hitter. He obviously is a great left-handed hitter. Let's see what he can do from the right side as well. No, because their data says against lefties, we put Paul Goldschmidt in the leadoff spot no matter what. And when Paul Goldschmidt is in the leadoff spot, that means Aaron Judge can't hit second because we can't have back-to-back righties to start a game because, the big bad boogeyman late in the game, a right-hander might come out and be able to face Goldschmidt and Judge back-to-back. I don't give a shit who comes out of the bullpen and facing Goldschmidt and Judge. Those are two of your best hitters. I'd rather have that than freaking Trent Grisham there just because he's lefty. That doesn't help any situation. But that's how they're going to continue to operate, bar none. It's the same reason why they're continuing to put Volpe at shortstop, bar none. It doesn't matter that he leads the league in errors at shortstop. It doesn't matter that he's, by all offensive metrics over the past 3 seasons, basically bottom. He's bottom of the barrel offensively. Doesn't matter. He's going to play every day.
So the two of them are different. They are different.
Well, they're just different examples of how they're stubborn.
Yes, but they're different because there's not another player there at shortstop. That's the thing. There's Dominguez, because of Grisham's emergence in the first half of the year, the first third of the year, you're seeing him in there a lot more often. And the fact that he's still up in the 2 spot just blows my mind. We still know who he is as a full player. Like I promise you that at the end of the year, his numbers are not going to look as great for everybody, but he's going to be up there in prime situations, hitting between whoever's hitting leadoff, Goldschmidt, if it's like you're saying, and Aaron Judge. He's hitting before Aaron Judge. Right. Trent Grisham, the other guy that we got in that trade, for Juan Soto. This is the other guy. But Volpe, I don't even know. My words for Volpe are not going to hit it because the guy, I've obviously had a lot longer leash than you have with him. You've been calling it out for quite a long time. I am still just baffled by the player, to be honest. The fact that he doesn't make contact at a higher rate just blows my mind. He's getting beat by fastballs consistently. And that's a really, really significant problem if you're a major league player, especially if you are the starting shortstop for the New York Yankees. Getting beat by fastballs and understanding that these guys are just climbing the ladder with him and just waiting for him to expand the zone to then be put away by a high fastball time and time again is a huge problem. And you're right. Defensively, he's been bad. He's been making horrible. Even yesterday, you're looking at a throw that was, down the line that Goldschmidt has to come on a ball that there's no reason why you're not making an accurate throw to Goldschmidt.
Should be chest high. Goldschmidt
has to come down the line, make a tag, put himself into harm's way with making that tag with a running, player down the line. That's a tough play for a first baseman, but you're making everything difficult. And then in between innings, inexplicably, you're throwing a ball. Like you're throwing it around the horn, and like I know how the guys will like catch the third one, and they're throwing it, to a guy that's running in. When your star player Aaron Judge, the captain of your team, the only guy on this team that you can depend on, and is the best player in Major League Baseball, Anthony Volpe should never in a million years ever be allowed to throw anything in his direction ever. He shouldn't be able to throw a chicken parm in his direction.
That's one of those circus
baseball
things.
Anything. And he's not even looking at you. It's not like you can't see him. The man is 6'8", 280 pounds. You can see him. You can see his face. Not looking at you. Hits him right in the eye. Right in the eye. This dude comes out with a bandage. Has it on again today. Like he's a prize fighter who just got cut.
Maybe he just likes the way it looks.
I don't know, man. Like that.
No, that's just a circus moment. It's like, obviously it's an accident, but it's just like, this is a clown show. So the stats I was referring to is from Bombers coverage. Since 2023, Anthony Volpe is one of 62 players to register at least 1,500 plate appearances. Okay, let's just pause there for a second. That's two and a half seasons. He's one of 62 players in Major League Baseball to get at least 1,500 plate appearances. That's not a lot of players. That's a small percentage of Major League Baseball players in the past 2.5 years have had that many plate appearances, that amount of playing time.
And so I bet if you go on that list, they're all-star players, team guys.
Yeah. Elite players who play 160-ish games a year, bat 4 or 5 times a game because they're hitting near the top of the lineup. Like they're playing. Those are literally the peak everyday players around the league. So he's one of those 62. Here's where he ranks offensively. Average, 62nd. Last. On base percentage, 62nd, last. Slugging percentage, 58th, fourth to last. OPS, 62nd, last. WRC plus, 62nd, last. Weighted on base percentage, 62nd, last. He's been the worst player in baseball.
Of those guys, yeah. Yes. Yeah, man. Like I'm done giving him the rope. The leash here. The leash. He's hanging himself. And then the fact that you hit, you're just like a bad omen at this point. Hitting Judge as he's running in between innings. Just thinking about the game, minding his own goddamn business. And you get hit with a baseball. And the fact that you like those are offensive numbers. When you're seeing that he's also leading the American League in errors, and I know defensive numbers don't have him as the worst, but we've talked about this. Like defensive metrics are dog shit. They really are. They don't really tell a true story, especially ones that are incomplete and you don't even have a full sample size of a season. Like the guy's just using your eyes. You can clearly tell that he's not the player that people thought he was when he was winning a Gold Glove. He's just not that guy.
No, I'm not saying he's a terrible defensive shortstop.
He's been looking bad. Looking bad. Even the plays that are made, he's making it more difficult for everybody else. And thank God Goldschmidt is over there, doing the best he can with a guy that's playing third base who shouldn't be playing third base with, making errant throws. Again, like doing the best he can. A shortstop that's, making routine plays look difficult. You have a guy over there that's at least, saving some of the face and some of those errors. But
my point is like, okay, so you say, well, they have no other option. I get, you're right. I don't think Peraza is the option, but would Peraza be what? Oh, he would also be last. And although he would be the same thing. You're already getting worst offensive production in the league and terrible defense. So I don't care if there's quote no other option. It can't get worse.
Yeah. And then, Julio's asking about the Volpe and Judge comments. I'm not sure which Judge comments he's talking about, but the Volpe, the one thing New York fans want in a player is accountability. That's the number one thing. Like seriously, you could be one of the worst players that's come in and just done awful. If you stand in front of your locker and be like, I sucked. I have been playing so terribly. I need to be better. I need to be better for my team. I need to be better for the fans. I need to be better wearing this uniform, playing this position. I need to be better. The kid just looks like he's a deer in headlights. He talks like he's a deer in headlights.
Overwhelmed is a word.
He doesn't seem like he's mature enough almost for the position to a point. Like for real, he's and the answers are, well, yeah, inconsistencies. The team he's giving the things that he was learned in the PR classes and he's just saying them. And you can tell that he's just saying them, but he's not actually like talking to the people that are asking him questions.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like thoughts.
You need to actually talk to the people that are asking you questions. They're asking you questions, talk back to them, have a conversation with them, speak about what's happening instead of just being company line, it'll happen, company line. That's not accountability. Like whether you're saying the thing that's coming out of your mouth that sounds like accountability or within the PR class are like, this is what you need to be accountable. He's just reading the textbook version of that and actually saying, man, I'm trying. I don't know what I need to do something different. I'm not good enough. I need to be better. Personal accountability.
You just hit on it, which is the scary part.
Personal accountability is a big part.
I don't think he's good enough. And I think that's scary because I'm waiting. He's had enough playing time where he should be getting better. He should be getting better.
He's seen pitching. He should be getting better.
Like you're a top prospect in Major League Baseball, top 20 ranked prospect. You've had one of the most plate appearances over the past 2. You should be better by now. Like
you're looking at Dominguez when he throughout the season getting better. You could see,
and he's not even getting consistent time.
And he's not getting, but you could see the comfort level. You can just see it with your eyes. You could see him at the plate, just looking more comfortable, taking pitches with a lot more confidence, swinging with a lot more confidence. So yeah, absolutely. You should you should see it. And I think like, I don't know, he just feels like an anxious kid. You know what I mean? Like he feels like he's got a level of anxiousness that prevents him from doing. I don't know. I don't know what
either.
that says about his makeup, but
it's tough to pinpoint. All I know is he should be better by now, and he's not better. And to me, that says he's never going to truly be the player we thought he was going to be. Like, you've had enough time to be better, and you're not getting better. If anything, in a lot of ways, you're getting worse.
Even if like he is gonna get better, even if there's an opportunity for him to get better, the Yankees can't give him that opportunity to get better after you've seen what you've seen for the amount of time that you've seen it. You go into the offseason, again, if he doesn't improve at all, and you're looking at similar numbers this year to what he's doing in the first half, and you're going into next season, you can't look at the shortstop, one of the most important positions on a team. You can't go into that position into the offseason being like, okay, there's no sign of progression. There's signs of regression defensively. There's signs of regression because you haven't progressed. I think that's a sign of,
I think they're looking at
development that's regressing because you're not getting better. And to me, that's a regression.
They're also, I think, just looking at it comparative to other shortstops. Like those numbers we read are just around the league: shortstops, left fielders, catchers, first baseman, etc. But like Boone's comments a couple weeks ago, or whenever it was, he was talking about how Volpe, if you look around the league at his position, his offensive numbers are pretty strong. And like that might be the case. And like last I checked, his numbers were like middle of the pack for shortstop. I think at some point earlier in the season, they were top 5 or top 7 for a shortstop. Like, is that an indictment on the shortstop, or is it like maybe like shortstop position?
It can be both.
But like, can't we just use our eyes and be like, this guy has a roughly 600 OPS, or excuse me, roughly 700 OPS, which isn't horrible. It's not good. He's booting the ball around the field. Like, he doesn't seem to be getting better. If I saw progression, I could suck it up and be like, okay, well, he's making steps forward here. He's getting better at this. He's mastering, like you said, bat on ball. He's making more contact. And now he's going to add a little. No, there's no consistency in anything other than just
you're not even
flashes.
seeing the hot streak, come back.
He had a hot streak earlier in the season, but that was really the only one.
But last year and the year before, even, you're looking
at
a
few. He had a few.
You're looking at a handful of hot streaks. And like, you're not even seeing that. You're seeing he did get hot, but he just looks lost. He looks overwhelmed.
Really just mediocre to bad. That's what he looks like. And you sparked my memory on the accountability thing, because the Rodon implosion in the first inning against the Mets, where he gave up the grand slam. So you saw him throw up his hands on the Dominguez ball that Dominguez wasn't able to knock down in the gap.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, here we go. This is Rodon, because you know what he's thinking, like, defense not helping me.
Pineda.
And then he just hangs a slider for a grand. It's like rotation's banged up. Schmidt's going to get Tommy John surgery. Like, Rodon, I thought you were the guy. I thought you were a man. I thought you were a big man. I thought you could step up here. Fried stepped up. Thought you were going to step up, Carlos.
Yeah. And look, Dominguez has not been good in left field, to be fair, with what you're seeing. But again, like a lot of playing the outfield is repetition, getting a feel for it, getting like I 100% think you can get better defensively much faster than you can get better offensively, because a lot of it is reading. The guy has a problem with a high sun. Like, whenever it's really sunny out, the guy has an issue. Like, there's no doubt about it. We need to figure that out.
He needs to get those grandma sunglasses that basically just block all the sun.
I was gonna say, you remember the ones that flip up?
Yeah.
Like maybe there's like a level,
guys don't wear those anymore. Those were thinking like the 80s.
Can they get them like further out so it goes beyond the brim?
Does
so
he wear eye
you
black?
More coverage.
Does he wear eye black?
I can't picture it. That pictures the beard, but he needs more help with the sun. He needs to figure that one out. But again, like, just consistent playing time. If you were the only one that was being bad defensively, then I'll look at it. But like, he's just a handful of, he's just throw him into the mix. Like, who cares? Just get him consistent playing time so that he can try to improve. I'm seeing improvement from the kid. So yeah, he's a better baseball player than half the team.
But it's like, okay, well, he's not getting consistent playing time. And I'm sure they would be one of the first to point to his inconsistencies in left field. It's like, but then on the flip side, again, you've got a shortstop who's just booting the ball around, who's not hitting, who you're just playing every day. I would just like to see let's just for optics, just have Peraza start a series at shortstop, just to remind Anthony Volpe, you are not entitled to the shortstop position of the Yankees.
Look, we talked about the fact that there's no other option, the real option back there. That actually is besides the point. I agree. He's been this bad. He deserves to be benched. I'm sorry, but even an accidental play by throwing a ball and hitting your guy, just a lack of awareness, frankly. You're a Major League Baseball player. That's the best player. This guy needs to be protected at all costs.
If Judge had an eye, like imagine if that
I would beat the shit out of him.
A centimeter over and like hit him square in the eye, and like Judge is seriously like impaired. What are we doing here? Like he is so fortunate. All he has is a little bandage and a little cut.
100%. And like, what are you doing? Just like this. That's one of those moments. Like, get your head out of your ass and be present. What are you doing? Like, it's not something that I'm just looking past, because it's a microcosm. And I know it's like, oh, this is just like how the season's been going. Throwing the ball. No. This is a guy that's not paying attention and throwing to the best player on the planet a firm ball that hits him in the eye from a decently far distance. Like, you see the video. He's not close to him. It's not like he's just tossing a backhand to him like he's going to catch it. And
I think actually he had sunglasses on and it hit the sunglasses, which could have actually saved like a serious injury. Like, still hurts, obviously, still cut him up, but the sunglasses like blocked it from being severe.
Whatever. It's a stupid look, from a player that is not playing well, which just is a very bad look, very bad look. And so,
well, I think the
All-Star break can't come fast enough. And unfortunately, there are two very good teams in the way of the Yankees and the All-Star break with some good pitching. Yeah. Some really good pitching on the Seattle side. Like, I guess, right, and really good pitching.
And the Yankees offense, like everyone points to, this is kind of what the Francesa rant was, which is like, I love that Francesa rant, but like, I've been saying this. Like, yeah, you can tout your run differential. You can say we've scored the most runs in the league, but like, I don't care when you score 20 against Milwaukee and against some beat up bullpens. Like, look at all those games you were shut out in. Look at those games you can't get a run in extra innings across. Look at those close games against Toronto. You were not able to score a run in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, and they were. Like, I don't give a shit about your best offense in the league. It's not the best offense in the league. It's not.
No, it's not. It's not. And I point to that sometimes just to get you going, because I know it does and it's fun. But 100%, like, this team doesn't execute. They don't know how to situationally hit. And I'm sorry, but I don't care what you do in the regular season. In the playoffs, I know you have to hit home runs, but you also have to you have to be able to hit. You have to make contact. You have to move runners. You have to do the little things against the best pitching in baseball, because that's usually what you're seeing out there. And you're usually seeing a lot of it, usually a stacked bullpen, and you have to be able to execute. So unfortunately, when you see really good bullpens and a team that strikes out a lot, usually the bullpen tends to have a lot of success.
Yep. All right. It felt good to get back. Get the cobwebs off. It's going to wrap it up for today's show. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I saw actually a decent amount of people in the live chat there. So shout out to you guys on YouTube. We're going to be streaming every Monday consistently from probably here the rest of the season. Monday mornings, 9 a.m. Also up on audio, as always. We'll talk to you again next Monday morning.